Hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking to you about Stolen Things by R.H. Herron. This book is, I will not lie to you, I picked this book up because of the cover, but also Stolen Things. I thought that was a pretty nice title, but I did really like the way it looked, and so I just thought, I should try this one out. And so, when I finally got around to reading it, I found out that it is kind of like a murder mystery type book because someone did die. So there is that part where you're trying to figure out who did that, but it's also another crime was committed that they're trying to figure out, which was sexual assault. The main girl, well, there's like two or three main characters, I would say, because there is the mom who happens to work at dispatch for 911. And then the chief of the police happens to be her dad. And then the daughter of those two is the one that ends up being sexually assaulted in the same house where in the other room is a dead body. And so they immediately want to pin it on Kevin because it's his house, this other character, and trying to figure out if it actually is. And the daughter doesn't believe that it's him because she knows him. He seems really like an innocent person, doesn't think that that would have happened. And so Jojo's the daughter. She doesn't believe that it's Kevin, but they lock him up anyway and keep him in a cell for a couple days because of, like, he's the only suspect. So they're trying to figure out more things. So the book essentially starts with Jojo's mom getting a call from Jojo, from her. When they pick up, she's like, "Mom," and instantly the mom's just like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" And so they track down the location and find her, and they decide to take her to the hospital and do all the tests to make sure to see if she just was passed out and woke up, but she couldn't. Jojo was really disoriented, so she didn't know what happened, and so they were gonna make sure that they could figure out what was going on. So they went through all the tests and everything to find out that yes, she was sexually assaulted. So most of the book is trying to figure out if the person that also killed the other person is the same person that did both of these crimes, or if it's somebody else, two different people. And so it's pretty fast paced. We go through each section of the book, we find out that this happened, and then we immediately go into trying to figure out who did it, and then more backstory on Jojo, and more trying to figure out more information about how this happened. Jojo has a friend named Harper, and Harper actually is missing. So there's another thing that's just on top of this. We realize that Jojo and Harper were together at this party before all this happened, but Harper's nowhere to be found. So everybody is believing that, putting the pieces together, saying, "Oh, we're pretty sure that whoever did these crimes also took Harper and is keeping her somewhere." And so we have to try to figure out who that is, try to find Harper, see if she's still alive. They end up having her phone. Her phone ended up being in Jojo's purse, and so she had it. And so they're using that for clues, trying to see who's texting her, trying to go through her messages. Jojo feels kind of weird going through somebody else's personal messages, but it's leading a lot of clues to figuring out how to find her and where to go. And so I don't want to give too much more away because really it is really fast paced. And so as you're reading it is a pretty big book. There's a lot of pages and stuff, but it still goes by really fast and you learn things really quickly. If you are reading it with a mindset of trying to figure out what happened, you might be able to put that together in your head and figure it out and at the end be able to say, "Oh, I knew it. I knew that's who it was." I don't like reading like that. I try my best not to read like that because I would rather be surprised about things than to figure things out. So I guess it depends on how you like to read it, but I personally like just figuring things out as it happens and be like, "Oh," and kind of have an idea, but not focus on trying to figure it out myself. If I have an idea of what it is, great, but if I also am surprised, I kind of like prefer that than figuring it out myself. But either way, I feel like this was a decent, good read. I did like it because of the fast pace, because it kept me reading. I wanted to continue to read, to figure out what happened and everything. I do feel like the ending kind of went quicker than, like, too fast paced, where I was fine with it up until the end. I kind of wanted a little bit more. I just kind of felt like the ending did, it's like, oh, now we know all there is to know, and so the end, I kind of feel like it did that a little bit. But aside from that, it did keep me wanting to read and wanting to figure out things. So if you like those kind of books, then I'm sure you'll definitely like this one. Yeah, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.